I'm Craig, and today for the Surfboard Guide, we're going to check out the Ham 2.0 by Route 1 Surfboards. So the Ham 2.0 that I've been riding is a 511, and it comes in at 511 by 19.5 by 2.5, and it's 30.7 litres. So looking over the Ham, it is pretty much a performance shortboard. Nothing too crazy going on. Reading about the board, it holds a little bit more width through the front end, so it doesn't narrow off too much like your performance shortboards. So a little bit more width through that front end, and similar through the back. It has not an aggressively wide tower block, but it definitely has a wider tower block than a lot of other performance shortboards. Flipping it over, nothing too crazy in the rocker. The center of the board is fairly flat, probably that middle third. There's a really gentle and nice nose lift out the front, so keep you out of trouble, be very high performance, and a nice little tail flip out the back, so you can still kind of jam it in and out of some pretty good turns. Flipping it over, nothing too crazy here either. Single concave through the front and then a double through the fins. It comes out the tail, nothing too aggressive. So what that's going to do, it's going to keep water moving through the board really nice, really gently, and keep a really fast and lively and easy to surf board. So you might be familiar, Route 1 and Malachi sent us the Tuna Bunny review we did a couple of months ago. So that was a 2+1 twin fin. And that thing was absolutely epic, lots and lots of fun. He sent this at the same time, but I actually didn't ride it for a while. I had quite a few boards and was kind of holding off. I was actually really frothing on riding this and had to kind of restrain myself. And I was frothing when I finally got in the water. So those are familiar, on the east coast of Australia, we've had a lot of swell lately and some really good waves. You know, even when it's been bad, it's been good. And this is something I've been riding a lot of the time. I've surfed it in some kind of smaller conditions, you know, in the kind of, knee to waist height range. And because the board does have a wider outline through the nose and the tail, it surfs really well like, you'd want from a step down kind of grovel shortboard. It definitely performs in those conditions. Also, this is a sustained surf Ecoboard. So what that is, it's a stringered EPS construction. So it's really, really light and it's super lively underfoot. So this board surfs really, really well in, small and average conditions. But like I said, we've had a really good run of waves and we've been surfing some pretty pumping waves in kind of, the 3 to 6 foot range. And this is what I've been riding, and the board has not disappointed. Even though it holds that width through the front and through the back and it has a slightly wider outline, it still has quite a performance rocker and it is still a performance shortboard. So, in pumping conditions when it's been, barreling, really, big open faces where you can do decent turns, and even in some kind of heavier and suckier waves, this thing has been absolutely epic. I've been going through a few different shortboards, but this is something I've been grabbing a lot of the time and it has not disappointed. It's funny how a board, we talk about getting local shapers for local conditions and stuff like that. A board that has been shaped in the central coast of California works so damn well in Sydney, Australia. It's definitely been one of my favorite boards that I've ridden for quite a while. Flipping it over, there was a little message here on the bottom for me, and it says, "Ride with AM2 Tech Flex." I'm sorry, even at 90 something kilos, I find that fin generally is too stiff for me. So I've gone with the Jordys by Futures. So this is the new Jordy Smith fin. It's the large template, and those that are familiar with the ride number by Futures, this has a ride number of 5.5. I've rode a bunch of different fins in this, the AM2. Generally when I get a board and I haven't ridden it to test how it goes, I'll probably check the AM2 in, which is a large Almeric template. It's a fin I'm super familiar with, and I tried that first, and the board was absolutely amazing. But recently the Jordy's come out. It's a very similar template to the AM2. It's a rake template. If you look at the size of the fin, the ride numbers only very, very slightly different. and it's only a slightly smaller fin than the large AM. This has felt really good because it's raked and it has a decent amount of flex in the fin. It's been good in small conditions, it generates speed really well, but it's also a really solid fin. So when it's been bigger, it's a super solid fin, doesn't skip out, and handles some decent and really good waves. And I've really enjoyed the Jordy fin. Overall, the Ham 2.0 has been absolutely epic. Like I said, I had the board for a while and it kind of sat there and I had to restrain myself from riding it. I kind of knew as soon as I took it out of the board bag when it arrived, I was like, oh, this thing feels absolutely mental. Some people laugh at putting a board under the arm and the underarm test, but nothing beats it. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever put a board under my arm that I think is going to be amazing and it's been rubbish. This felt amazing under my arm and it feels amazing under the foot. I actually can vividly remember the first wave that I caught on it, and straight away I knew this board was an absolute winner. And like I said, it's so funny that a board that's been shaped, by a shaper on the central coast of California, probably for conditions around there, has worked so well in Sydney, Australia. I surf a whole bunch of different boards, and the shortboards I've ridden recently, this has by far been one of my favorites. Look, I've absolutely loved it, and hopefully you get a chance to check one out. We'll also hopefully chat to Route 1 on our upcoming podcast to learn a little bit more about the brand, the shaper Malachi, and some of his awesome boards. Thanks so much for watching.